Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wedgewood Community Church on this day before Valentine's Day, when we are thinking about and talking about and holding love in our hearts today. That's going to be our topic is true love and how can true love transform our community. But first, we want to begin with our announcements. Announcements and upcoming events. Next Sunday, February the 20th will be the History of Sweet Baskets, Drums, and Dance, a Black History Month celebration with Ashanti and Professor Bradley Simmons from Duke University. So that is going to be a very exciting service. Then the next Sunday, February 27th, you don't want to miss Never Going Home, the criminal justice system locking up Black lives, with Sharif Ingram, who was given a life sentence at the age of 15. He will be speaking. Our community garden, I know that they are planting seeds at home to get ready to get the garden going. So if you're interested in helping with this early spring garden, you need to contact Liz, and you can do that personally or you can do it through the church. The community garden goes to support our food pantry. We also have a food pantry that is open every Wednesday. These are some of the things that are always needed. We would love to have you volunteer to come and help on Wednesday afternoons. I believe 4 o'clock and after, maybe 3 o'clock and after, if you can come. That would be wonderful, and you would be better for it. It's a wonderful experience to experience the happiness and the joy at our food pantry. We have a social justice book club. The next meeting is Thursday, February 24th at 7 p.m. We are finishing reading Say Their Names, How Black Lives Came to Matter in America by Patrice Gaines. Patrice is a member of our book club and has led us through this study. And this book can be purchased wherever books are sold. And I can't encourage you enough. If you have not been in the book club, purchase this book and read it on your own. It is well worth your time. Patrice did speak at Wedgewood, and Sharif, who is speaking on the last Sunday of this month, is mentioned in this book, and that's where I made the connection with him. For this next meeting, we are reading through page 291. You can connect with us through so many different ways. Be sure and check out our website. It has lots of information about who we are, what we believe. So you're going to want to be sure that you look at our website, join us on Facebook. We post regularly during the week. So lots of opportunities to connect with the people of the Wedgewood community. And a reminder, we have very few announcements on Sunday morning to save time, but we do have a newsletter that is published every week. It is very inclusive with a lot more events and information about Wedgewood Church and about the interfaith community. So if you're not on that email list, then you need to email the church at that address and let us know, and we will be happy to put you on the newsletter list. Feel free to contact Wedgewood Community Church at any time. I am the ministerial coordinator. Liz is our community outreach coordinator, and Ashanti is the music coordinator. Liz is taking today off because of other work, and Ashanti is in Boston with her daughter. And don't forget to support Wedgewood Church financially. We need your financial support. No gift is too small. You can help by mailing your donations to Wedgewood at that address. We have Venmo, we have PayPal, and we have Zelle. So please remember to support the missions of this church and what we stand for. And you can indicate if you send a check or if you go through PayPal that you want it to go to the food pantry, if that is specifically where you would like a donation to go. But we appreciate your ongoing support. Thank you. And now we're going to have our prelude. And I want you just to sit back, relax. I want you to sing along. I want you to dance. I want you to clap. I want you to do whatever you feel like doing as we get this service started today. All right. And you all know if we were in the Wedgwood Church building, I'd have every one of you up in a train going around the church. There is no doubt that is what we would be doing. I'm sure a lot of us have some great memories of that song with our friends back in the day, forming that love train. And that's what we need to do today, is to form that love train all over the world and get it going again. So we're excited about today and talking about a love train and how we can create that. And now we will have our extravagant welcome, Richard and Laura.
We are all welcome here.
Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and the care of Mother Earth.
An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting or believing, being depressed or full of joy.
We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers, striving to learn and embody the way of Jesus and other spiritual leaders.
Like Jesus, we focus on the plundered and the marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day.
One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story. We are all welcome here.
Yeah.
We are all
welcome here.
And our words of wisdom this morning come from a writing called Love by Enfleshed. Jackie, Connie, Betsy, and Thomas will share that with us this morning.
Ready? Love cannot be bought or sold. It does not make a profit. Love does not hide from the truth. Love dives deep.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry, friends. Love is platonic. Love is erotic. Love is asexual.
Love confronts evil. Love delights in pleasure. Love teaches and weeps and flirts and feeds and creates.
Love is risky. Love challenges systemic evil in all its forms. Love is simple, but not easy.
Love is collective. Love rises up. Love apologizes. Love believes. Love corrects.
Love holds accountable. Love pays reparations. Love heals. Love tells its story.
Love embraces everyone, every creature, every creature, every creation. It knows us intimately. It holds us collectively.
Love transcends every boundary that seeks to confine it. It will not tolerate violence in its name. It does no harm. It only sets free. May it be so.
Amen.
May it be so.
May it be so.
Amen. Amen. Our moment for all ages today is a book called I Am Love. I Am Love. When I see someone going through a storm, of hurt and unfairness, of anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to help let the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and I listen, and that's where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is just being present sometimes. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is giving comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully because love is gentle. I can give thanks for all I have and am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what's important to me. Love is creative. I can know that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better when something is wrong. Love is effort. I can celebrate those I've loved before. Love is remembering. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. Love is tiny gestures. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares and know that all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. When the clouds roll in for others and for me, I know now there is something I can do. I can let my heart lead the way. I am love. You are love. We are love. And with love, we will weather the storm and light up the sky together. Beautiful book. Really sums it all up. I think some reminders in there for the adults too about love that we often forget. I love the one that sometimes love is just listening, just quietly listening. And love is understanding that nobody's perfect. Nobody, not even ourselves. So I think there's a lot of value in this. I Am Loved by Susan Verde. Great book. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now let's go to our celebrations and concerns. I want us to remember Thomas's sister Becky today. She celebrated her birthday last Monday, so that is a celebration. And we also want to pray for her. She has Alzheimer's, and these are very difficult times for her and other family members. So let's keep Becky in our thoughts. Betsy's brother Brad is entering some of the worst stages that he will go through. So we want to remember Brad. Anything you would like to say, Betsy?
No, I appreciate your prayers. And as I said to Connie before, just the science that'll get us to the end of this, that hopefully will just, not hopefully, will get rid of that cancer. Thank you, everyone.
And we want to continue to remember Laura's cousin Erin's daughter, who is going through some health problems and so with challenges. So we want to keep her in that family in our thoughts and prayers. Dr. Dolores Finger Wright, Connie's friend. Is there an update, Connie?
No updates. She's just that she's still here.
Okay, this is her third round with COVID.
Yeah.
And she's fully vaccinated, so we certainly want to lift her up. Ashanti is in Boston with Naj today. Naj just moved to a new apartment, so I'm sure they're having a good time decorating and putting things up. And we want to remember Naj and safe travels for Ashanti as well. And I want us to remember the people of the Ukraine this morning and the days ahead for them. Let's keep them in our prayers. It's a horrendous situation there. Also, the situation with the truckers has spread all over the world. Paris is having problems now. They're expecting problems in LA, perhaps with the Super Bowl. And of course, Canada is having problems. So let's just lift that up. Anti-vaxxers that are so hard to understand, but all we can do is lift them up in our prayers. Our education system is struggling. I saw this week that South Carolina and Florida is wanting to put video cameras in every classroom. Anybody can watch anytime, anybody's child, their children, what they're doing, how they're doing in school, the book burnings. There's just a lot going on. So our education system and our teachers need to be lifted up. Are there others? All right, then we will have a few moments of silence. Use it as prayer if that is your belief. If not, use it as time for meditation, self-reflection, or just a few moments of quiet to relax in the silence. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Our message this morning is on true love. We all look forward to Valentine's, perhaps for different reasons. But it's a time when love has kind of been coated in sugar and Hallmark cards. But it's also a time we need to take time to reflect on the depth and breadth of the diversity of all of the love that fills our lives. The question today is, how can a commitment to love transform the building of our beloved community? A few weeks ago, I found myself, as I do every year, and as I'm sure that you do, in the pharmacy greeting card aisle. And as a rule, I read a lot of cards, trying to find just the right card that says just the right thing for the person that I'm planning to send it to. Even though I'm going to write a personal note on each one, I want to find just the right message and just the right picture. But while picking out cards a few weeks ago, I noticed something that I thought was a little odd. And that was the picture of pugs. Pugs, as in dogs, on a lot of Valentine's cards. Pugs in romantic situations. Now, I'm not sure that I understand why a dog that has the distinctive feature of a wrinkly face, short muzzle, and curled tail has become the face of love in the greeting card aisle. But go figure, there you go. The one thing I can say about that was I found it somewhat encouraging for those of us who are getting a little wrinkly. I grew up in the era of Disney, and so perhaps many of you did too. The wonderful world of Disney came on every Sunday evening, and I rushed home from church to see and hear When You Wish Upon a Star. One of my favorites was Sleeping Beauty. You know it, I'm sure. Princess lives with dwarfs. Princess gets poisoned by the apple of a jealous witch. Princess falls asleep, and the gallant prince discovers her asleep in the forest, kisses her, the magic spell is broken, the princess wakes up, and they live happily ever after. As a kid, this was a story that had everything: danger, adventure, love, poison, dwarves. But at the time, what really attracted me to this story and many other Disney stories and fairy tales was the moral that love prevails over evil. Love wins over evil. Now, as an adult, I can see the many ethical issues within that story. The problem of consent, the racial undertones of the witch being the only animated non-white character, the very gendered message that a helpless princess needs a gallant prince to save her. But still, it is a story whose central message I like to believe in. True love can heal. True love can save. True love can drive out evil. True love can be the transformative force that leads to the creation of a beloved community. In fact, this belief in the transformative power of true love is what I believe makes us Wedgwood community who we are. We disagree on a lot of theological issues. But the one topic I believe all of us seem to agree on is the power of love. In fact, love and care of other reaches across religions. Someone once said, in every religion there is love, but love has no religion. Buddha told us love is a gift of one's innermost soul to another, so that both can be whole. Muhammad told us, you will not complete your faith until you love one another. The Torah states, love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus said, let us not love with words and speech, but with actions and in truth. And we all know the true love that our atheist friends show others in all of their work with the marginalized people, their care of the homeless. Love is the most essential value in the work of confronting, subverting, resisting, and transforming all forms of oppression. Without love, there can be no justice. Justice work is the work of the heart, the work of love. People often ask me, well, what does Wedgwood believe? You're open to all faiths and all religions and all beliefs and all people. What do you believe? And I refer them, of course, to our core values and extravagant welcome on our webpage. But I also tell them that the important question at Wedgwood Church is not what do you believe, but where we stand. Where do you stand? We stand on the side of love. If you review our core values and principles about the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, our fight for social justice and our interconnectedness, it can all be summed up in one word, love. But what do we mean exactly? That's a tricky question because many of us often take the concept of love for granted. It's so easy and so comfortable to sink into a routine love. A love we act out of because we think we should act out of it, or it's just a routine or a habit with family members, with spouses. Instead of a love that we act out of because we have given ourselves time to really listen to that love, to listen to our heart and let it guide us. To define true love is also tricky because to a large degree, each of us comes from a different place of love. For some of us, love has been a place of pain and disappointment. But this is Valentine's Day, a holiday, a holy day. And it invites us to move beyond a place where we take our love's meaning for granted and move into a place where we can grapple with all of the realities of love that surround us. It's an invitation of such for us to begin the work of untangling what true love really means in our lives. I'm going to ask you right now, on the count of 3, to say the word love. 1, 2, 3. Love.
Love.
And now I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and bring to mind one person, someone near, someone far, doesn't matter. Bring them to mind. Come up with an image in your mind. Look at their face. Look into their eyes. Take a deep breath. And when you're comfortable, say, I love you to that person. Say, I love you out loud to that person.
I love you.
I love you.
Now bring to mind a community, congregation, a family, a group of people that are you see on a daily, weekly basis, and come up with an image in your mind of that group of people. And look into their faces and their eyes. And intentionally say out loud to those people, I love you, whenever you're ready.
I love you.
I love you.
Now, finally, think about a group of people or an individual that you do not counter on a daily basis, that you know is in need of justice, someone you know that needs to hear, I love you. The poor, minority groups, our Native Americans, a transgender man or woman, those imprisoned, an abused mother or child, someone struggling with addiction. Create a face. It can be an imaginary face. And look at that face, look into their eyes, and when you are ready, say out loud, I love you. Now we won't, you can open your eyes now. We won't share our feelings right now, but think for just a minute, how did that feel? Now, what if we were that explicit about our love every day? What if we were that vocal about our love? What if every second we made it a spiritual practice to listen to the voice of love moving around us and within us? How might it change our lives if we listened more to our hearts? Bell Hooks, author, feminist, and activist, celebrates our ability as human beings to channel love toward one another, creating a vital and sustaining sense of connection and belonging in our lives. She argues that we don't need to feel personal affection or passion towards others to feel love in order to ground our thoughts and responsibility, respect, and trust. She refers to this as love ethics. And she invites everyone to expand the power of our love out beyond our beloveds and into the greater web of everyday lives. When I said earlier that we stand on the side of love, I wasn't talking about a physical posture. Rosa Parks stood on the side of love by remaining seated. I'm talking about a moral stance, not just assumed privately in our hearts and hidden away, but witnessed boldly in our families, our schools, our workplaces, our communities, at the State House, in the halls of Congress. I'm talking about standing on the side of love in action. When Lydia Marie Child defied the prohibition of her time against women speaking in public and demanded freedom for the enslaved African Americans and the vote for women, when she protested the Trail of Tears, the brutal removal of the Cherokees, she was standing with love. When Unitarian minister Jim Reed heeded the call of Martin Luther King Jr. to Selma, Alabama, and was beaten to death by racists, he was siding with love. Siding with love doesn't require any power. It requires courage. When a child on a playground sticks up for another who is teased or bullied or left out because they're different, that child is fighting with love. Fighting with love affirms the full humanity of all people, and it honors the worth and dignity, the spark of divine that is in each of us and every person. Standing with love means treating each other well, whether ally or adversary. Love is patient, wrote the Apostle Paul. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. Standing with love means being more committed to being reconciled than to being right. Love does not insist on its own way. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Martin Luther King said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." More than anything to me, what defines true love, real love, transformative love, is what E.E. Cummings said. I carry your heart. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I'm never without it. Anywhere I go, you go. To me, true love is that universal force present in each of us and yet greater than all of us. It reminds us how deeply interconnected and fully embodied we are in our relationships. I carry your heart with me, your heart for all of its imperfections, all of its bad choices, all of its messy humanness. And in return, you carry my heart with all of its imperfections, its bad choices, and its messy humanness with you. For those of us brave enough to wade past the shallow love into this deep depth of true love, we must be ready to take the risk of the journey. When we carry the heart of another in all of its weight and all of its levity, we must be also willing to trust someone else to hold our heart as well. John Donne famously wrote, "No person is an island. Every person is a piece of a continent. Any person's death diminishes every other person. Any person's birth and renewal lifts up the rest of humanity. You are me, I am you. We are in this journey together." True love. I believe that our religious tradition must be one that we live out our true love beyond the walls of our homes and beyond the walls of our church. I believe in a kingdom of God that can be present on earth if we as a society fully live into the human potential of love. This kingdom would be a place of peace and hope and joy where no person would go hungry. We might call this dream of a community our beloved community. And you know, Martin Luther King used that term for the world that he envisioned and fought for, a beloved community. Beloved. Be loved. This was the force that drove his marches, his movements, and the Poor People's Campaign that is going today. And I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling a whole lot of love coming from the world right now. I'm not feeling a lot of interconnectedness to people in the public square. I'm not feeling a lot of the spirit of beloved community that King stood up for, which is exactly why it's so important that we are here together this morning celebrating Valentine's Day. Because as a community, we believe in extravagant welcome, the belief that everyone is welcome at this table. We are called to extravagant welcome, and that extravagant welcome must be rooted in active, mutual love. And so I ask us all this morning, one day out from Valentine's Day, how are we going to live our love out into the world? How are you going to listen to the true love in your life? How are you going to speak your love boldly into a world that so desperately needs to hear it? Reverend William Barber and the Poor People's Campaign has an event on Valentine's Eve. I posted it on Facebook, and I challenge all of us to spend an hour tomorrow evening with that event. Because in that event, you will hear the voices of the poor, the downtrodden, the ignored. Let's go beyond our families and our friends on Valentine's Day to the very people we have talked about today and visualized. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. You carry my heart. You carry it in your heart. Carry the heart of one of the people you said I love you to in the beginning of the service. Carry the heart of one of the marginalized people, a group of people who struggle, a homeless person, an abused child, those who are imprisoned. Together, we can carry the heart of our world into an uncertain future. And I wonder how our true love may reshape it. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Amen. We don't need a special occasion to say I love you to somebody, a friend, a family member, a homeless person, someone struggling with addiction. All we have to do is say those 3 words, and it will mean so much to so many people. I love you. And now Donna has our benediction.
I gave myself a Valentine's present this weekend and attended a Zoom seminar sponsored by the University of Kentucky about the life of activist, poet, and philosopher Bell Hooks. The seminar was titled "A Legacy Rooted in Love." Now, Bell Hooks, described as a Buddhist Christian, died this past December. For years, the greeting on her telephone answering machine said, "All awakening to love is spiritual practice." You know, no matter how hard we work at it, it is impossible to separate love from justice. Love is not simply good intentions, thoughts and prayers, bleeding hearts, or applause from the sidelines. What is love if we stand by and do nothing or run in circles of meaningless activity? Love is not a Valentine. Love is a heart on fire. We have a lot of love to do. If we live in love, hate will have a lot of work to do. Light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:4. Make love count for something this week. Amen. go in love.